The religion of light. Pharaoh Amenhotep IV changed the name to Akhenaten in honor of the god Aten. After his death, his name was erased from the lists of kings. All his monuments, all his symbols were destroyed to erase his memory. In modern times, his epigraphs dating back to the time of Amarna, Akhenaten, were rediscovered, and it became clear that Akhenaten had carried out an unprecedented religious reform. He had destroyed the symbols of Egyptian polytheism, replacing them with a monotheistic cult of a new god of light, which he called Aten. The theology to which it was inspired was that of the solar cult. Akhenaten and Nefertiti. At the center is located the gate solar motion, engine for the existence of the world. Every day renews the work of creation. Even in the night, Aten arises in the world of the dead, where he brings light that regenerates the dead. All this happens not without overcoming obstacles or adverse events. For example, facing the monstrous snake Apophis. Thus he renews every night in the depths of the underworld. The new title of the sovereign, which revealed the dogma of Aten to the country, was first recorded on the stills of the Eastern Bank. He retained the name of coronation and changed Amenhotep into Akhenaten, pleased to Aten, simply replacing the name of the god. This tendency, moreover, accorded well with the inspiring motif of the funerary books, such as the Book of What is Found in Hades, the Solar Litanies, and the Book of Doors, that is, with the desire to concentrate on Ra, creation and maintenance of life. Amenhotep IV chose to adore the sensitive aspect of the sun, the disk, whose role is clearly defined in Heliopolitan theology since the Old Kingdom. The result was a general universalist tone, which indeed presents the appearance of monotheism, and often the great hymn to Aten, inscribed on the western wall of the tomb of A in Amarna, has been compared to Psalm 104. When the sun goes down on the western horizon, the universe is immersed in darkness and dead. Men sleep in the rooms, their heads wrapped, and no one can see their brother. They could be stolen from them all the goods under their heads, and they would not notice. All the lions have left their caves, and all the reptiles bite. They are the darkness of an oven, and the world lies in silence. It is because its creator rests on its horizon. But at dawn, when you rise on the horizon, and when you shine, O solar disk, during the day you cast out the darkness and emit your rays. Then the double country is celebrating humanity is awake and standing. You have made them get up. As soon as the body is cleansed, they take their clothes, and their arms are in the adoration when you rise. The whole universe is dedicated to its work. Every flock is satisfied with its grass, green trees and grass. The birds rise in flight from the nest with their wings spread out. They are in adoration before you. All animals jump on their paws, and all those who fly and all those who settle live when you rose for them. Ships descend and go upstream. Every way is open because you appeared. The fish on the surface of the water leap towards your face because your rays penetrate the bottom of the sea. You who make the embryo develop in woman, you who create the seed in man, you who make the child alive in the womb, you who calm him with what makes the tears cease. You, the nurse of those still in the womb. You, who continually give the breath to vivify your every creature when it comes out of the womb to breathe the day of birth. You make your mouth open completely and provide for its needs. When the cheek is in the egg and it peeps in the shell, you give it the breath of life inside to vivify it. You have prescribed a moment for him because he breaks it from within. It comes out of the egg to hum in due course and walks with its own paws as soon as it has come out. Great Hymn to the Aten. The so-called Armenian Revolution did not in any way affect the administrative system, which remained exactly as before, often with the same officials. On the political level, it rather strengthened theocratic absolutism. The king, handsome son of Aten, became the obliged intermediary between man and the disk. As such, the pharaoh was the object of an adoration that we see depicted at the entrance to the tombs of the high dignitaries. In fact, while maintaining its traditional titles, Akhenaten is often called son of the living Aten. Aten, the god of Akhenaten, changed its royal title only a few years later. This happened simultaneously with the foundation of a new residence in the 5th year of the reign. Aten. The divine worship of the king resulted in a certain marginalization of the other deities. On the other hand, however, the fact of linking the funeral becoming of the courtiers to that of the sovereign was, in a certain way, a return to the origins, in the sense of research on the past that characterized the reign of Amenhotep III, as those of his predecessors, search for ancient records, the tomb of Osiris in Abydos, and so on. The reform really made itself felt above all in two fields, economic and artistic. Akhenaten had some temples closed or limited its activity and transferred clerical goods to the crown. The first consequence was the increase in administrative centralization and its executive arm, the army. Akhenaten. The setting aside of the local authorities made the administration's action more difficult and thus formed a whole system of corruption and arbitration against which Akhenaten would later have to fight. The construction of the new capital and of the new temples was done to detriment of the economy in general and of the divine in particular. The system of divine properties was, from the point of view of centralization, nefarious, but the abandonment determined the destruction of a production and redistribution circuit that no new structure was replacing.